Okay, can I get your name again?
Kel Hancock.
Kelly Hancock. And what do you do for a living, Kelly?
I'm retired from the Canadian Armed Forces. I did 20 years in the Canadian Infantry, and now I'm a freelance writer here in Windsor.
What made you? Why did you decide to become a freelance writer?
Before I joined the military, I always wanted to be a writer. My original plan was to have the military pay for my education as a journalist and then to be a war correspondent. I joined the military in the reserves to try it out, to see what it was all about, and I very much got caught up in the life of the military, and the camaraderie and the teamwork and the brotherhood, and I stayed.
How many years?
I did 20 years.
20 years. You were overseas?
I was. In those 20 years, I did 2 tours in Sarajevo during the Bosnian Civil War, and I also did a 6-month mission in Eritrea and Ethiopia during a conflict between them that lasted from 1998 to 2001.
What was the most gruesome thing you've seen during your tour with the military?
Look, there were so many things, and certainly part of my therapy and many other soldiers' therapy is a lot of times trying to nail down that one thing that may have caused most of their nightmares. And in reality, when you're doing the missions that we did as peacekeepers, and you're seeing the death and destruction around you so intense and so steady and constant that you really can't pin it down to one thing. It's everything that does it.
Does it haunt you?
It does. It does. I'm fortunate to have been through some serious therapy and some serious effort to readjust back to life here in Canada, because that's one of our big problems. Is we come out of places like that, and we're still very much attuned to the situation we are in. A lot of us suffer from hypervigilance and
PTSD.
I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, like many others. It's something that the Canadian military has come a long way in understanding, but I don't think Veterans Affairs Canada is quite as progressive at this moment. And certainly, as you've seen from the news, there's many veterans that are fighting hard to be compensated for what we were promised in the Army. The mantra was, if we break you, we'll pay for you. Well, that's not true. They don't necessarily pay for you, and for a lot of veterans, it really affects their lives. I went from roughly a $57,000 a year salary to $12,000 a year in the matter of 1 month when I released.
And you were putting your life on the line for our country?
That's right, and you know, we didn't think of things like that when we were doing it. I mean, it's your job, right? It really is, and it's not a job like any other job, because it's a life. The other guys, the troops, they're your family. The unit's your family. You're representing Canada. You want to help people, so you really don't think about those things at the time. But when you go from being a leader of men and making a fairly good, secure salary for your family, to suddenly being below the poverty level with no responsibility and virtually no income, it's tough. I mean, we've got veterans that are living under bridges in places like Toronto and Winnipeg. I'm in touch with guys on Facebook constantly and getting stories about, you know, brothers that, you know, had to be picked up from underneath the bridge. They're not getting the help. The system is too slow. By the time you win your case against Veterans Affairs, they sort of expect you to treat it like you've just won the lottery, but in reality, every cent that they give you has to go to pay your bills. I mean, I went in debt while I fought Veterans Affairs. For the first time in my life, I owed bills that I couldn't pay. For the first time in my life, I bounced a check. and it's tough. It's really tough.
And you were promised that these things would be taken care of?
That's right. Yeah, it's the golden promise. Yeah.
Can you see his face?
Yeah.
He's got that big backlight there.
Oh yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Positive.
Okay.
How do you deal with your PTSD?
Well, my therapist told me I had to talk to myself. I always thought that someone who talked to themselves was the crazy one, but it's absolutely true. You have to talk to yourself constantly. You have to tell yourself, I'm not in a threat situation right now. A couple years ago, if I had walked into this pub, I would have scanned immediately for who's for me, who's against me, and who do I need to protect. And it's hard because it's a lot of, it's mentally exhausting and it's physically exhausting. Through, I guess, cognitive therapy and talking to myself, I constantly convince myself that, and reassure myself, you are not in a threat zone. The threat is over. This is Windsor, Nova Scotia. This is your hometown. You're finally safe. And that's what works. That's what works. You have to reprogram your brain.
So before that, you still had the soldier's mentality?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day I walked down the street, everywhere I went, it was constant threat assessment. It's a terrible way to live because you can't shut it off.
Now, what do you recommend to other men that are going through what you've gone through? How do they deal with it?
First step, reach out. Reach out. And if you're not reaching out to a professional, reach out to a brother. Reach out to another veteran.
Can we redo that?
Sure.
Okay. That same answer that you gave is really good. And I just want you to check the difference in the lighting when you're doing it. I know that backlighting is cute for something, but it shouldn't be for everything. See, this is way more, like we can see him way better. Sorry.
That's all right. No, you're fine. Okay, I'm going to ask you the same question. What advice do you give to men or women coming from the forces or the army or the navy that suffer from PTSD or some kind of disorder coming from overseas?
Reach out. Definitely reach out. There's no shame in it, and if you don't reach out to a professional, reach out to a brother, reach out to another veteran. Those are the people that understand. Those are the people that are not going to judge you, and that'll be your first step. Get yourself into, if you can, get yourself into a good therapy. Now there's more and more firms, psychological firms and outfits that understand post-traumatic stress. You gotta have a therapist that understands post-traumatic stress and try to relax because it does get better. The fight or flight and the hypervigilance, it does go away after a while.
How long did it take you?
Probably the better part of 10 years. And I still have moments. I still have moments driving into Halifax.